It's me, Renee. I'm back. And this, as you can see, is an update for the history challenge. It's been going on for about a week now. About a week? It's 1 week exactly. Not about a week, it's a week. Well, 1 week, about a week. I suppose more or less the same. Oh, about is like kind of could be more, could be less, but like a week is a week. Anywho, so I didn't post anything last Friday. I posted something. No, I actually didn't post anything last Wednesday either. And honestly, yeah, last week I was sick. Well, sick. I had my period. I wasn't really feeling that well, so I didn't. And I did have one film pre-film, but like days just kind of went by. I didn't prioritize booktube, so yeah, that's what happened really. So yeah, I'm back now, as you see. And I kind of want to do a little update on what I've read so far, because of how I wasn't feeling all that well last week. I didn't read that much, but I did read some. So last Tuesday, I finished an audiobook that I've been listening to for a few weeks. First of all, well, I can't include it, and I thought, well, actually, you can, because I mean, it's a history challenge, and history doesn't need to be old, it can be new history. And also, one of the prompts was also actually to read something that you like based on a hobby of yours, or like something that a topic you really enjoy. So the audiobook that I recently finished, let me just find the name and the author. Give me a little moment. La 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 la. Give me a little moment. Put the wrong. Give me a moment. A little moment. Okay, so there it is. So the audiobook is called London's #1 Dog Walking Agency, a memoir by Katie McDougall. So it's a memoir about how she started this dog walking agency, kind of in the title really, as often with non-fiction books. And yeah, I really love dogs. And when I was younger, like one of my ideal jobs was actually dog walking. It still kind of would be fun to like work as a dog walker. Though like working in a bookstore, I can't really complain. I really love that as well. And so this book it told us about how she decided to start this um dog walking agency, like from like how she started, and then it ended in like 2011, 12, yeah, around that there. Even though like the book itself was published this year actually, so and like it's not like the agency is closed, but it's kind of mostly about how it started and like the beginning of that journey really. And like she talks about how she's like starts a chapter like the dog name and the dog breed and how old they are and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a very good book. I enjoyed it a lot. It's actually narrated by Anna Poppel of Narnia fame, of who played Susan in Narnia. And yeah, I felt like she did a very good job of bringing to life the story. Well, I suppose I can't say she was doing a good job because I don't know, like I haven't read the book like as a paperback, so I can't know if it's better in paperback. But I don't really think, like I enjoy it in audiobook, so I think it's either gonna be just good or it's not gonna be better in paperback. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, that one was an enjoyable read. I would recommend it. Don't like it down below. So yeah, finished that last Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. And then on last Thursday, I end up like between Tuesday and Thursday, like on Wednesday, I didn't really read at all. I just wasn't in the mood at all, so I just kind of did other stuff. Kind of time went by, and I was not feeling like it, and yeah, life just kind of happened. So yeah, but yeah, on Tuesday, I felt like okay, I want to read something. So I actually went, well, yeah, I went to the library. Uh, I already returned this book, so I can show them to you. But yeah, I went to the library and found a few biographies, like the ones for kids, so they were thin, but like still, it's kind of like a good thing to read, like if you want to read something, but not like something huge. So I got biographies like the ones called Small People, Big Dreams, and I got one with Frida Kahlo, I got one with Ella Fitzgerald, I got one with who else did I get? Yeah, I got Emmeline Pankhurst, and then I got Jan Teigen, a Norwegian celebrity, and then I got Empress Sisi, which is well, those was like, obviously, but yeah, she was Chinese empress, one of the last ones. But yeah, actually, those last two books actually written by Norwegian, like published in Norwegian, but those others were like translated. And yeah, I enjoy them. Well, maybe a bit too thin for me. Like there was like maybe one or two sentences on every page, or like at least the English ones were like few, like two sentences on each page, and like big picture. It was nice, but I kind of want a bit more. But it's not meant for me, and it's biographies meant written for like kids. It's kind of like my first biography, so it's not supposed to be like huge and thick and complicated. So it's supposed to be an introduction, which it is. So I can't really fault it for being what it is. But yeah, also like it worked very well for me those books because yeah, it was just something easy to read. It didn't really have to concentrate, and yeah, I can just pick them up, read them quickly. I also believe now. Did I read something else first? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, but anyway, I read those. I enjoy those. Like I also like the four of the ones that were translated from English. Like the main part of it was like kind of like one big picture and a sentence in a page, and then the same thing, and then it was just like 40 pages, so very short ones. But then at the end, they had like 2 pages where they went a bit more in depth into like what happened with the people. So it's also interesting. So I like that very much. And yeah, I enjoy those. So yeah, that's what I read on Tuesday and Thursday. Then on Friday what did I do on Friday? No, yeah, on Friday I started. So on Friday I started When They Call You a Terrorist by a Black Lives Memoir by Patrice Carney-Colors and Asha Andele. So Patrice Carney-Colors is one of the uh, three people who kind of started Black Lives Matter, the movement or organization. I mean, Black Lives Matter has always mattered, but like it kind of became more of an organized thing in 2013 when Patrice Carney-Colors and also, give me a moment, I'm just gonna get the names, just not to say anything wrong. When Patrice Carney-Colors and also, this is annoying me, Alicia Garza and Opal Tometi. Actually, I have Alicia Garza's biography also here, so I can read that after in next week or this week. I might do that. So yeah, and this one, yeah, I actually started. Like, I read the first chapter on Friday, and then I finished it on Sunday and Saturday. Great read. It's not long at all. It's just kind of 250, let's say 2,250 pages, and you see it's not long, but it still very much packs a punch. Like it says, doesn't say here something blah 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 blah. No, okay. I thought someone had verb and said packs a punch. Apparently I didn't. I just read it wrong. But yeah, at least in my mind, it just really pack a punch. It's not really, it's very, in a way, it's very personal. I mean, memoir. And I would say also like focuses very much on her family, which obviously is a memoir, so it's not that unlogical. But yeah, and you get a good look at her family and her upbringing and her life. And at least for me as a Norwegian, you kind of understand like, okay, so this thing about being African American in let's say Australia, in the US, it's not like some people are very unlucky. No, it's people like from all over. Like, of course, I had heard of Trayvon Martin. I had heard of some of these cases, and I did kind of know like, don't like being African American in the US. You seem to often get put in crossfires. A lot of them get killed for no reason at all and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think maybe I had this naivete idea that maybe like the people who were killed were people who were. I thought maybe they were people who were poor, people who were something like this or that. But like a lot of people, they have steady jobs, they have house and everything, but they're just victims of white supremacy and racism, and it's baffling how mad it is, really loud, how mad it is. It's just absolutely senseless, and it has no purpose. And well, I suppose purpose is to have keep white people in charge in the US, but like, yeah, it's kind of heartbreak. Well, kind of, it's heartbreaking, and yeah, I would say this is a very, as I said, impactful book. Recommend it. Uh, it kind of gives a picture of how stuff is. It might, well, in some ways, it'll make you maybe a bit, yeah, make you, you'll become very angry at like the world and the industry and white supremacists and just unfairness and stuff like that. And you'll just look at the book and just kind of, how does this happen? Like I mean, so many things to think about. But it also like you become like, okay, so, but also you like a lot of the African Americans, you seem so resourceful, and that's, yeah, it's not just a book about hardship and troubles, but it's also like a book about people who won't give up, people who persevere, and yeah, so it's also a bit, I would say, also a bit inspiring, and yeah, it's just, yeah, a book that everyone needs to read, really. I think this should be in everyone's TBR. And yeah, if you haven't read it yet, you really should. A very important book. Yeah. So I read this, finished this on Sunday, and then also like a few times now and then I picked up Husband Hunters, something completely else. But yeah, read a bit of that. By Anne de Courcy. So this is the story of the Gilded Age Americans, Gilded Age Americans in the 1880s to like the 1900s, when rich Americans went to, I was about to say US, went to UK to get husbands. They got titles, and it's kind of like really like the stories of these people, these wives, these daughters, and these rich people who did that. And yeah, it's just fascinating and interesting. Uh, not long in, but a bit into it. And I don't remember who, but they mentioned a person in this book, a widower who was a bit eccentric. So she had like zebras who to draw her carriage instead of horses, and it's just like sometimes fact or like sometimes life is stranger than fiction in so many ways. It's just like, is this real life? And yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it's a non-fiction book, so it's real. It has happened. It's actual facts. So yeah, it's fascinating. And then I started slightly The Boy in a Red Dress by Kirsten Lambert. So this is a historical fiction, which, yes, the history challenge is mainly about focusing on nonfiction, but you can read a fiction book if you want. And yeah, so this one. This is a book set during Jazz Age, 1929, in New Orleans, and it's a murder mystery. Well, murder. It's a murder. It's a murder mystery, and so sorry. So the Millie is the main character, and one day Marion, the boy in a dress, someone tries to is looking for him. Millie says doesn't say who they are and want to let them find them. And then later same evening, that person is murdered. So yeah, but because of this being a boy in a red dress in 1920s, it's not all that easy. So yeah, so far we just saw the body, the murdered body. Well, it's not a live body. Well, I suppose bodies can be alive, but then it's not a body. Anyway, we just saw the murdered person, and that's kind of where I'm at. It's chapter 5, and yeah, I'm not sure how if I'll finish all this how much I'll focus on this because I still have other books I want to read as well. I want to finish this just mood reader, or if I'm gonna just read a bit now and then. I'm not sure, but I started. And then I also just today I started for a long time today. I wasn't really wanting to read, but wasn't in that mood too much really. But I kind of wanted to read something, so I put this on, which is a book written by the QI elves. So it's just 1,181 facts. So it's just a book about lots of different facts about everything. So it's both historical facts and stuff that happens in like both things that happened in 1998 and also things like 1 in 4 of people in Britain do blah 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 blah, and that's current facts, so it's not historical facts. But yeah, but a lot of these are historical, and one just one thing that I just read, quite interesting. So J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis once went to a went to a party dressed as ice bears. It was not a costume party. And yeah, it's just small facts like those, but it's just funny and interesting, and yeah, definitely a nice little book to pick up if you're into read in the read if you're in the mood for something quick and something like that, something short and quick. And yeah, so that's kind of more or less my update so far. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot. I also started an audiobook, Yale Needs Woman, which is but say obviously, but I suppose it could be a fiction book, but it's non-fiction about the first females in Yale and how Yale ended up becoming co-ed and the first females in Yale. And the book actually is talked in the previous about how a lot of other books you kind of stop when they talk about Yale history, they stop when say and then at this year Yale became co-ed, and then boom, full stop. That's where the book ends. Well, this book takes kind of talks about go in depth in how a school goes from being just male to males and females, and it's not simple. It's kind of interesting now and then, and yeah, I like feminist history. I like female history. Well, I suppose feminist history as well, and that kind of feminist history as well. How is that? And yeah, so I'm very much enjoying it. I'm kind of about maybe 2-3 hours in. It's a 9-hour audiobook, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm pretty much thinking I'll finish it. But yeah, other than that, I'm not really quite sure how I'll continue. I do know that I want to, as I said before, I want to at least do those two. Those two, sorry. These two, because they were on my TBR from last year, and I didn't get to them last year. So I very much want to get to them this year. And so hopefully I'll get to these two. other than that, I'm not really quite sure what I'll pick up. I have I have a pile here of around 10 books, and then I suppose I have some more like I could maybe I'll end up doing a more biographies. Could do that, and I don't know what'll happen. But yeah, that's an update and how it's going so far. If you want to talk to me about how it's going for you, please do. And I'll talk to you soon. And bye.